question, how to obtain Eduroam credential.
Malaysian Federation.
Yeah, this one is only for Malaysia. So for book, okay. So now to okay, so I will go to maybe I just use this. Looks cleaner. Okay, so let me visit the portal. That's Wi-Fi portal. Okay, so and then I click get started. So from here it will trigger that's all login. Method login. So now I need to identify from which organization I came from. Okay, so if you see there's a lot of members from here. So let me choose my identity, which is from virtual home, and then click select. So if I my identity login page. Okay, so after that, yes, I'm back in the portal. So now I can choose. Okay, you have to send the instruction. How to configure my device. Okay, using the profile or credential generated by the portal. Okay, so because I want to use for Mac, so I need to use this one first. I need to direct config file, package here. So and ask me to download. So I save.
It would be a different interface if you were using Safari, right? Safari knows that the mobile config is supposed to go into your.
Yes, yes.
So if you do this on your phone, it's important to do it in Safari, not in.
No, for I'm using the Eduroam apps actually. It's a little bit, but the notification features is useful. Okay, so
The notification feature in the operating system, because I didn't use the app. I used Safari browser to this on my phone.
okay.
I still get a notification when the profile expires.
Oh, really?
I'll look to see if my
Okay. So after that, I can click the profile. So I need to review the settings, system settings, and then network, and then sorry, not network, privacy and security. Further down here, fine. So dark. Okay, so let me delete my existing one so that I can use the new one. Okay, so okay, so I need to review this. Okay, so you can see here, this is the configuration, which is it will configure for Eduroam as well as for Open as well. Okay, so the credential is embedded in this mobile phone config file, and the file now is verified, so it's digitally signed by our organization. Okay, so and then click install. Turning profile. Okay, the profile install. So next is I just need to click here. So automatically it will automatically connected because It's of the main network after you install the platform. Then here you have random access on your device. Okay, so that's demonstrate how you can use identity federation from authentication to the user and use the portal to generate the Eduroam credential and also the configuration for your device. Okay. And if you have already the certificate, it's same like this one. Actually, for Linux, these are two tools that you need to use. Okay, question? Interface actually is not original. Because it's a very historical why there's some issue of the Eduroam apps with iOS devices. That's why we skip that one and do this one. But now the apps has been patched and upgraded. So even with the profile one, you can use it. Okay. And try on the account or through what's called directly. So if you want to see the configuration for app with Eduroam cat, I can show you here. So is there any first goes before Eduroam cat? So you have the results Eduroam cat. Okay. So you can log in as an administrator. Identity federation. Okay, this one. Do. Okay, so okay, this is virtual home. Okay, so this is the Eduroam cat profile for my organization. So basically, I just need to set it here. Instead of the application, we can turn the what's it? The cat go to the portal and then hash slash Wi-Fi. This is a requirement in order for the Eduroam's server to get the configuration. Okay, so yeah, this is how you can do integration between the portal and also the Eduroam cat. It's pretty easy actually. Just need to add this information only. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the slide. Yeah, hands-on. Okay, so basically we will use the same Kubernetes cluster that we have set up before during the previous training. That you, if you haven't done so, you can do it as well. Before you can set up the IDP as a service. So this is an offline service for identity validation. It is also and help organization to get onboarded Eduroam, or we can even package it that, okay, this is like, that's my task, and so this is the priority service, Eduroam and the VPN and Identity Federation as one service. Okay, so this is all the alternative that you can provide. So this is the tutorial at this URL. So if you, yeah, I can leave it open here, but let's have a look. I'm brief a bit. So, okay, let me stop this. Yep.
Can I ask?
Can.
In India, Ethernet is Eduroam is taken care by Ethernet and
Yeah. So it should be still Ethernet.
But many of our infant members
Yeah.
in IDP members group setup.
Yeah.
So in this case, they don't want to set up one more identity system in this institute, right? Simply they need to set up one ADS.
Yes and no. It's not if I want to set accounts and servers and the your federation to provide authentication, yes, they can.
Without Eduroam, Ethernet of India, then we are able to provide this.
I'm not overseeing to do so.
They need to get out of
Connection to the area. This in your organization only.
So if yours is called infed.my, infed.my, then if you are affiliated, you can be affiliated with a different roaming operator potentially. Right? But I don't think there's necessarily bad blood between you guys and Ernet. Don't have to be the ministry is different. Yeah, you don't have to be. You just have to have a peering point because your namespace needs to be reachable by the Eduroam infrastructure. So remember that anything .in won't leave India because that's the way the Eduroam routing is for. Right? So everything that .in is the roaming operator, or everything that's not .mine leaves the roaming operator to go look for a home elsewhere on the planet. But anyone else using .mine anywhere else on the planet, it won't work because all the traffic will point towards Myren, and Myren country. So like Brooke just bought this crazy domain .mine, we just get swallowed up by Myren as this doesn't work. So just because you have that domain in place doesn't mean that it will route, because the Eduroam routing infrastructure looks like DNS, but isn't routed the same way as DNS.
You can bring this into to Elnet actually if they would like to increase the number of IDP and SPs and IDP and SP in area. So you can tell them
this. Of the Eduroam institution do not have IDP. I mean Edugain, they are not part of it. Stop the Edugain member of infant member do not have any part of Eduroam. So if we connect
this, you don't have to become Eduroam member to set up this service. You don't have to.
I'm saying for infant members.
Okay.
They are not part of Eduroam as of now. Mostly hundreds of institutions.
Okay.
Sometimes no, the top institution they don't want to be part of Eduroam.
Okay.
They are thinking some other people will come to campus. They will start downloading the subscribe. That is why they don't want to be part of it.
Initially in Malaysia, the mission the same thinking usually. But after COVID, everything changed. The reason why, because like this, during the pandemic, so many of the students don't back to the home, okay, and then lockdown happened, and they cannot travel. Even if they cannot travel more than 20 kilometers from their home, okay, and when the situation getting better, they can travel but cannot cross the state. Okay, so they stop. And some of them is staying like in the villages or where the infra is not good. So then anyone become a big helper. Okay, so they just can go to any nearest university that provide Eduroam service and use their account to network. Okay, so if even those the question from the master impose all the public university must have Eduroam. Yeah, must. And identity federation as well for the remote access and also NVPN as well.
Yeah, the stealing of bandwidth
Yes, exactly.
can be very, very. I mean, it's an unknown. So if I talk about this for China, in Australia, we had reasonably expensive.
It's a bad chapter. Yeah, not to just alone. That's why I offer as an employer. It's a foundation registered with a name. Yeah, about the first time I went. It's not allowed to tap Australia. It's like episodes. About most people to come, right? You know, actually no, you cost us anything for that. It's kind of young people. It's access for controls and lights. Access. Sergeants. It's right, kind of. These and to follow the list. Yeah, it's provided, for instance. To access this service. This change the views of the university in either embarrassing them into becoming Eduroam service providers or paying for the service to make that message go away.
Is there any cap limit for download size for Eduroam?
Nope.
in case somebody is coming from other institute.
Okay, so you can implement. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, what you can. Okay, there is one. Also become new trend in Malaysia that university only provide one SSID, Eduroam only, either for the staff, student, and visitors.
There is no other SSID.
There's no other SSID. Okay, but there's a but. Each group they have different network profile. So staff they sit on different virtual LAN. Students sit on different virtual LAN. So visitors they sit on different virtual LAN. Okay, and at the same time you can also put some bandwidth cap. Okay, for not that volume but the speed. Okay, so well because the ISP doesn't charge how many terabyte gigabyte you use anyway. Only the speed they limit.
No, in India.
What the university using what 4G or 5G for the uplink?
Yes.
Mhm.
Even Azure,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
GB wise. For GB, it will be.
Oh, that is a different story. But for internet generally, like you use this line, there is no limit, right? So you can use that cap. Even like in my previous university, if you are coming to Eduroam, but your realm is visitors, you cannot access printer, you cannot access it, you only get access to the internet. That's it.
Outside internet, not internet.
Not internet, no. Only to go, you can only go to the internet. That's why sometimes when the student have a friend that also has Eduroam, why you can do that? I cannot do this. Yeah, because you have different network profile for that.
Even that particular network profile, we can configure the communication between the publisher and the institute.
Mm-hmm.
The IP address of the institute.
Yeah, can.
That's
Yeah, that's why the when we tell the network administrator, look, guys, if you want to use IP base, is fine. But if there is visitors using your IP, accessing the publisher, that's against the contract.
No, not like that. The moment walk-in is study, it's legitimate to use.
Well, it depends. Some put only student and staff because of the FTE. All right. So that's why you need to put them separate island using IP that is not part of the IP pool that you give to the publisher. Yeah. So basically they come just, okay, this is free internet. That's it. Okay. So something like that. Okay. So that is the becoming a new trend in Malaysia is to use only one single SSID. And now first we use manual configuration, and there's a lot of issue, particularly helping the user to set up. And then we introduce Eduroam Cat. The call or the ticket drop about 90%. Okay. And then now we are in the process of transitioning to get Eduroam. And I don't know about this IDP as a service because for the political particulars, yes, we're going this way. University don't know yet. Okay, because they have different set of mind. Anyway, so this is the we host our training materials and tutorial at the our GitHub github.com /access-federation/iFIRExman-training. So this set of tutorial. So actually we added if the IDP is new. Maybe I go back to the beginning. So there's a Kubernetes cluster here. The major changes is we change from RKE1 to RKE2 because I don't know. Initially, the idea is to also add the IPv6 support as well, but for some reason, I have some challenges configuring it in the RKE1, but RKE2 is smoother, so I go to with RKE2. Okay, so and then and then I added SSO test service. So basically this is after you configure your IDP and you like to know whether it's working or not, you can use this service. Okay. And then so for the similar IDP, okay, we added new tutorial how to integrate with Azure AD. Okay, so this is what we use to deploy at 141 polytechnic and community colleges in less than 1 month. Okay, so this is also, we also have this Vikings.
Azure AD support the CSV upload?
CSV, I think so. Yeah, yeah. So to populate the users is between you and Azure AD. Okay, so there are some university using. CSV file, I think supported. Yeah, you can upload using like this Azure AD. Sorry, Microsoft, they have a software called AADC, Azure AD connectors. Okay, so this connector, they can pull data not only from OpenLDAP, not only from Active Directory, it can also pull from an SQL database. Okay, and then push it into the Azure AD. But if you want to upload using CSV, I think so. Bulk account upload also possible. Okay. Yeah, but I never tried using the SQL. I only tried using pre-IPA and OpenLDAP only, these two. Okay.
Most of our universities doesn't maintain the active directories.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually for the polytechnic wing, but some don't have even nothing at all. Okay, so that's why we found this using Azure AD. So we had it's up and down now, and they want to do it manually or the Department of Polytechnic and Manufacturing and quality controls. They have like numbers when the student register, and automatically pass to the Azure AD. We can find that for yet. Yeah.
Is it in the free version or?
From Microsoft, you just have Azure AD connectors. But no, it's all the free version. No, we just use the free one. Okay. Some updates that we add. Okay, you can look at this. And then the MVP as a service. So this is the tutorial that you can follow and implement. Okay, so session and the session basically is hands-on. So it's been fun. So if you have any question regarding how to do the analytic regression using Kubernetes and the tools that we created, you can do the using your infra, and I'm here to help you, assist you. Okay, if you have set up the previous one and want to set up the Eduroam IDP, then you can follow this tutorial as well. The first is to similar and this API, you have to have you can just release it and create. If you and the contact and how to add your realm, for example. So, any question? If not, then all yours actually. For this Eduroam IDP as a service.
Obviously, you set up
Yeah.
without Kubernetes, right?
No, all Kubernetes.
Is this
But we're not using Kubernetes right now.
Nah, we definitely using Kubernetes only for this. It takes a lot of time to replicate from one and another. Using VM, while Kubernetes is much faster to automate it.
so you run? Do you in fact run a container
Mhm.
institution? So if you were going to run multiple institutions,
Okay, so
would you? Yeah.
okay, so we have this virus. Number one week. I was talking this one. And can be from many institution. Okay, that's one. Number maybe this one. So if you have then you need to get 5 hours of Wi-Fi and MVP. You can also have one portal, one MVP. Okay, so like the same. So I'm not referring in this workshop. So for the community coordinates, we have one portal.
So one multiple realms, does that mean that
One.
one user, well, you don't have usernames because you're generating. Right. So, and the user doesn't see this other than they log in. So, I mean, with the Eduroam cat, so what I used to do once upon a time, in the dark ages, you didn't have profiles installed. You have
Away from Sudan. Instead of saving lives, service, for instance. Because you're
because they want to know which college that they don't.
Okay, who's accessing, they don't care. So they want to know how many users are care. Users that are using Eduroam in campus and also cross campus. There's this mobility pattern so that when they need this, then they can plan for infrastructure better, for example. And also it's personalized because we on the we can, yeah, because if you already have for many, then applying a fill and roll become challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the reason. So if we don't have a multiple, much easier to do one tagging and so on. That's the reason why. So it's
IoT.
access right? So you need to find so that's like so much time. Devices. Access. Campuses when it happens. It's not I had the password. That's where I got 679. That's where I got 679. No. That's what I was saying. Access to Eduroam. I want to share the credentials because it is incorporated device, which that's a lot of cancer devices it does, right?
If you want to do that, you can do at the radius side. Yeah, this one is not.
It's that you need to go through to get access to all services, like the students record or the you know, the science, or if they're a tutor, to find out the service that are tutor. And figure out what the side of the people say. Yes, listen to this. Advice, they are often. I think different decisions on who might be done more than versus.
Portal lets user to get Eduroam automatically, right?
Portal.
This your portal
Uh-huh.
lets user to get Eduroam automatically.
Yeah, the
Eduroam account.
credential, yeah. And the configuration, yes.
Username and username will be random.
Anonymized.
But in which point your user is being authenticated?
When
Like,
when you
if I
have
go to
connect to the Eduroam,
country-
then you know that it works. Authenticated.
Like, if I go to your country
Okay,
and then visit any of your university
okay.
and visit your site, like which site?
Okay.
Gate.eduroam.my,
Okay,
and then put any university name,
okay.
and then just
You will be redirected to the Sibolite IDP of that university.
that university.
Yeah,
And in that portal, I have to put my username and password.
yeah. And that Sibolite IDP, you need to know the username password for
Username and
that.
password. Then I will be redirected to
Yeah,
Eduroam.
so the Sibolite IDP will tell the portal this user is authenticated, is our user. Please provide. I mean, you can do whatever you like after that. Yeah.
Username password to my friend. So in that case, Eduroam.
Okay, so if you, okay, the policy is we don't care to who you give the account, but if something happened with the account, I can trace back to you. So you are responsible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Methods.
Is it possible to integrate with Google, like Gmail? Like most of our university uses
Google.
Google.
Okay.
And they want to integrate Eduroam with Google account so that user can easily
Yes, yes.
Eduroam.
Well, I can say yes, but no. Since I'm not with that.
Is
Okay.
it possible?
No, there is a note. I will tell you next. Okay, so it's possible. I mean, IDP is Google because Google also supports ML IDP. Okay, there is a note. There's a problem with Google. I mean, if we compare with the services Google provided right there, probably Google among the worst one. So are you ready? Okay, so this is something like my personal name now. Okay, if you're looking at the pictures I have, I think we're on the top class. The reason why, for example, because something was not only for that particular use case, but also and use case as well. Okay, for example, multi-factor authentication. I know really support multi-factor authentication online. The application multi-factor that can tell your somebody proxy under a day with this user. Okay, so as your day, don't to key in the password. And when you go to multi-factor, end up using push, OTP, SMS, whatever, because this is a method. Okay, and then we will tell this single identity proxy in my previous using MFA. Okay. So I will tell the service provider, okay, this user is authenticated using MFA. You cannot know that. Okay. So,
I already
if on person, the user was authenticated other than the applicant files MFA or not, it can be another user. It's not for the time that's can be applied to use MFA. You know, there's nothing secret about that. It's a person in a class schedule. Okay. So let's say for example, the user to have access to everything. Yes, it's sensitive because it may access your internet network, for example, when you need MFA. You can access it as well, but you can't do it on Google.
segregate policy in the
Yes, actually, in our case, I mean, in our deployment method for the IDPS service, the student that dictates the Azure ID. So the first is set at IDP, and it's fail. It's fail, yeah. Once you have more complex implementation, so it's a very in university, the having Office 365 there's a good forces. At the time, the staff also access to Office 365 months the model. They have to live with movie and so on. Microsoft Mac, right? For Microsoft, yes. The university they have their own okay, so startups in IDP. So Google and authenticate with Azure ID because it uses Azure ID for authentication. So we just have to learn from both. We can check email and Google using single sign-on or go to Office single sign-on as well. So it's more movement.
between two
If you go on Google Workspace and also Office 365 environment. So for years, you cannot use Google as your using assistant symbol. This Google Workspace can. I will put note. You cannot do MFA. It's hard to do MFA.
without doing it's impossible, right?
MFA is not different. And NIH space require MFA. Yeah. Commercial will some sensitivity there as well. They will impose that as well. To be the authentication service for the and you're not the based authentication, the same path that they need to build as one. Yes, that. Because last I have to do yes. Connection. Right. With your provider should look more into a Eduroam service to get accounts that way. Because because that's time because something bad is happening and it's that's not this feature, right? Passwords. Guys, I think it's very important. Passkeys is great. I want passwords anymore. Password become. So then we have a situation where that's why we use it. The password that being cheap is it's really crappy. You gets to choose the password. Crappy passwords. And if you put it for the same on campus, yeah, you. What's the balance of the account? The foreign on the access is the foreign on the purpose is the foreign on for any service you have on campus because because they have one crappy password. It's not so much my password manager. And we should understand password. That's the case. And prestigious professors within the universities that have the worst passwords. And back. It's the left track is so that's kind of our introductory argument.
That's what one should Sometimes they'll be for 15 minutes and once half of this. Private system for our students. Help desk. It was like and casual students were the help desk, right? So you get hassled on the weekend. Students. The students account. The whole weekend. Because we're all come up with a laptop, right? Or the professors got locked out of accounts. Sorry. That's the help desk. They just go to the faculty. Desk. If they're important enough. Passwords are just
and pay, and all that done, person you can deploy it in our application. You can deploy it in our service. On our application, the services, not, your IDP can get the one higher level of application for those services, and then what other people would have to factor that up. And so, yeah. Passwords today, and people with the monitoring passwords today. It's just, it's not take a long time, and yeah, keep crappy. And so, that's our podcast. And you say it's class out of clock. It's good. Okay, surprised. This. This. Stop on. Oh, actually, no, this one's set out. It's cold. Yes, I'm mistaken. Yes. It's never remember the one. Anyway. That's last. That's available to
No valid and they will have a 12 letters of phrases.
Message.
What 12 word? Like this, whatever you
Words.
Yeah. You need to write it down. Yeah, that's what they are. Crypto wallet.
Okay.
Trust wallet and then wallet.
No, heard of them. Stones to me. By the kind of adoption. Anyway. So yes. Around, right? I have to use them. Just last example is that the purpose of a different amount of risk. Sometimes you're very like to the life options and I understand you choose now. It has to be with quality. The outcome is it's not your time. And you know about every other
If you try to do manual, the option become less and less. And so
thing. Have to
even impossible to configure enrollment
Yeah.
using.
thing.
If I do this. Something like this.
This is one of the
Oh, the course.com. I thought that's Android. On the Android you can do uncheck. Isn't it? Yeah. I don't really remember because I asked them just use Eduroam cat. Okay, Eduroam.
Yeah.
Just Control F uncheck.
Yeah.
There you go. Step 4.
Step 4?
Yeah. And
I don't like a certificate. You are a password. You. You have to got your password with other people. So I think to why? And the wife died soon. Yeah. To happen for the users. Organizations, it's like, well, we can say purposes, but they are not secure our passwords. So you can't have those. Because the service of the certificate, and then you'll drive a certificate. So if you go to your
yes, we do self-sign.
computer. Certificates. So the certificates for you. So have been unchecked.
Maybe using self-sign for Radius server, it's not bad. Actually, it's good if you configure it correctly. Yeah.
The only thing is that how to make the CA certificate for the subsite available inside the trust store for every device. Okay. Prior Eduroam cache or get Eduroam, then the user need to this one.
Don't delete it.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I need to put.
Yeah. So
name-
probably the user said, okay, I'm done. Okay, so this is
Oh, yeah.
the very dark age before.
I know.
But I did this before.
Anyway,
That's cool.
it's in here somewhere. I missed it.
I think on the top. I think that it should be at the very beginning. Yeah, then
Oh, yeah, here. Yeah. Yeah, the validate.
yeah.
And what do their words say? Yeah.
Keep the
yeah.
certificate.
Yeah.
First line.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, and unfortunately, this Slovak uni should actually be. Not globally. And so what you do is when I used to look after Eduroam in Europe, periodically I would have this as a stored Google search, and then I would contact all of the NRENs saying, contact all of the unis and make sure they take down this documentation. Because the downside of this documentation existing is you guys find it, right? And you think if they do it, right, it must be fine. And so, yeah, it's hard to flag that as that's bad practice and it shouldn't exist. Yeah, and obviously this is for Windows 7, right? So they haven't updated this in a long time. They probably are not even aware this is still kicking around on their website. It's just like dead documentation that, but increasingly your different operating systems will make this harder and harder to do, which is a good thing. Yeah. For anyone online, bad example. If you missed it, bad example. Do not copy. Do not screenshot this. This is the wrong thing for you to remember.
Actually, at the Eduroam cat, there is one just to validate the profile. There's one features in Eduroam cat. Maybe if I still have the session, I can show it to you. I think I think this one. Either this one or another one, I forgot. So it can show you whether the profile of the config is set up correct. Yeah, this one set up correctly or not. Okay. So like it will check your DNS, static, connectivity, and also certificate validation and so on. What happened is dynamic connectivity. It's up. Oh. Yeah, this is correct. Oh, okay, I will look into this. Oh, wait. This had be at NRO. Anyway, see, there's a flag one. Okay, so you can use that tools to check your profile configuration. Actually, I think somebody asked me how to troubleshoot Eduroam from overseas. Yeah. Huh? No, not him. There's somebody asked me because they are not traveling overseas a lot, so doesn't know whether Eduroam will works or not. I mean, their setup would works or not from overseas. So you can use this. Click again at check RAM reachability. Go to the live login test. You can use EFTLS or username password. So this from here, it can test from, I think, Netherlands and Denmark. Okay. So if it said, okay, it works, then it works from the overseas. if it doesn't work, then there's another tools, but that one I think is only accessible by the Eduroam NRO operators only, that can check with the cross with specific NRO. But as the institution, you can use this to check whether your configuration would work or not from overseas.
So going back to the question that
Mm.
has asked, like, we think it in a simple manner.
Uh-huh.
Sign in the Google. If I you have an IDP that LDAP, but with the Google accounts.
Yeah,
Gmails,
okay.
Google accounts, sorry. With the Gmails as the email.
Okay.
So they can access with, they can authenticate with their something their gmail.com the IDP servers. They can they access to the Eduroam? No, with the
No, cannot. Okay, so maybe I explain to you a bit. So Google is the same like Google is the same like Office 365. So Gmail authentication it rely on Google. Google identity or Google internet directory or something. Okay, but hopefully if no password database attribute and so on. So Google and Google use that authentication. The same goes like Office 365 and Azure AD. Okay, so if Gmail because that one means because the account is belong to using the IDP. If you have a Google Workspace for your organization, it's possible.
In the institutional, the IDP is created. I mean, the LDAP behind this.
Okay.
Created with the Gmail Gmail, not account.
Okay.
The Gmail as the email.
So actually now,
Yes.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
You must admit, gmail.com is one of the most frequently attempted, in the top level service all the time. Doesn't work. Students get the false sense because of documentation that it's email address and passwords
Mhm.
that they try to use it all the time. So students.
Yeah, sometimes they confuse between email and email domain. It happened in Malaysia as well. So sometimes we need this is not the same with email. This is Realm. That's why we try to make it significantly different. For example, like staff email is name of the staff alias than the FQDN of the university, for example. So, but for logging to Eduroam, it become the name of the staff alias staff.fqdn. So they can differentiate between email address and there is different room for the Eduroam.
Best thing about either use Eduroam cat is they can tell the student.
Yeah, you can answer.
You can tell them to just put in their username. Right? They don't have to
Yeah,
because
Eduroam cat.
because there's an outer identity.
Installer comes with a realm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this configuration, the cat, you can see the outer realm. So you can set the outer realm to, and what we used to do is we used to actually set the outer realm to the version number of the configuration of our Eduroam cat.
Like this one.
Yes, so
At this realm and enforce realm suffix in the real name.
yes.
Mm.
So we have version number in there rather than anonymous, so that we would know what version of a profile people were still using, right? Because then we could hunt it down, say, oh, you're using this old configuration, and we want,
You have to
using that app, we can track down the people as you migrate over time.
That's a good idea. Never thought of that.
One last thing.
Yeah. Last one.
testing get,
Okay.
you need to set up any PTR. So how did you set in any PTR?
NASA.
No, without setting any PTR,
Okay, all right. And just PTR in unconference later. So there is something optional, but it's good to have.
if this without any PTR, you didn't perform your testing.
Okay, so
Dynamic testing or
so you know, this is my first then my first then it become error in PTR. Okay. How about antivirus in Eduroam is critical. Okay. So from the institution, it goes to the MRO, going to the regional register if you are in the Pacific. Like you will be connected to Australia or Hong Kong, these two. Then if the whole organization is at different continent, it will go there and so on. Okay. So let this go. So the other is we cut the okay. So for example, now the IDP is under South Africa, for example. So I don't have to go through from Australia to Africa or even to South Africa, for example. I can transport even that NRO. Okay. But how do I know that your realm is under the South African? Is by putting application pointer in the DNS. The information that ONU, my NRO is this the server and our server is this in South Africa. Okay. So it very important and the application much faster, but there is a if your NRO support a red set. Okay. So if your NRO doesn't support red set, it won't work. Okay. So you must
Most of the connections are
radius.
point
Yeah.
radius with a shared secret.
Mm,
Point-to-point links
yeah.
that are agreed between, so the top level server around the world agree with all of the roaming operators, a point-to-point link. We will talk to you on only this IPv4 and only this IPv6 address with these links.
Mm.
You'll only get messages from us, from these two servers, you know, on these particular ports.
Mm, yeah.
But for RADSEC, you could get, the South African server, or so say the
Mm,
University of Cape Town, I presume that's the University of Cape Town,
mm,
they could get a request that directly comes from this hotel, for instance. And the way that is secured is RADSEC. So you have to get a certificate from the
APKI.
from EduPKI, which says I'm only going to talk to a RADSEC endpoint that has a certificate signed by EduPKI. And if it's not signed by EduPKI, then I can't, even though the DNS has told me this is the correct location, I cannot trust the endpoint because it's handed me back a Let's Encrypt.
exactly. Question is how did you set this NPTR?
Okay, so different DNS. So is it another separate website?
Not like PTR, only PTR.
It's not there.
I can set PTR easily, no problem. But any PTR,
But a pointer record is the reverse. A NAPTR is a service location.
Difference from
any PTR and PTR is different.
different application.
You have already set this record. I saw it.
Yeah, if you want to see. Hey, sorry. It's one in sorry.
So let me make it bigger. Okay, so it says like this. So for okay, more NRO, it's NRO that and site protocol is used is TCP and it's handled by NRO but from here we can see in more detail. That's the right side. And not that. Because that is
Just put a dot.
not A. Bro, do you remember? This one.
SRV.
Yeah, SRV, correct. So yeah, so that's not NRV, so you can ask NRO2 by Eduroam.my, or you can also ask NRO1 Eduroam.my. This is where here. No. So if you implement this,
Can I just?
sure. It's in the Eduroam documentation actually.
I didn't find in Eduroam documentation.
Oh, yes, in yes, and topic. Is it operator? For this, okay. So before this, I will have the certificate from NPKI first. And or red sector. So if you're using red sector, you should this. Okay. I think I'm always in the past. So if you haven't done that, then only then you can do that. And also, this is beneficial if you support the red set. You can also have access to the open roaming as well.
Yeah, but this means that any of your staff and students that go to a Wi-Fi hotspot, say in Japan,
The city room.
what is it? What is
City room.
Yeah, not only Eduroam. So in Townsville in Australia, there is a city roaming service run by Telstra, the phone company, and it only supports open roaming. And so it was done as a collaboration with James Cook Uni, and they wanted to have the Eduroam SSID broadcast, and Telstra said, no more. Pay for by the city. They want to have some city Wi-Fi roaming SSID name, but it supports Eduroam. So if you turn up and you've used Eduroam Cat or you've used Get Eduroam to configure your phone will connect to it, and the Wi-Fi SSID will actually say that it's Townsville City Wi-Fi, and you'll go.
Actually, it doesn't care about the SSID. It doesn't care.
Put it in your phone. You go. How did I know the password to this? Right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. But if you can convince, for instance, so what happened in the best example of this is in Ireland. The Irish HEAnet, the Irish NLAN, they approached the second biggest mobile phone company in the country, because obviously the second biggest phone company wants to become the biggest phone company, right? And why? How do you become the biggest phone company? Get brand new users like students. So they made an agreement to sell the SIM cards, through some portal for students, cheap discounted rate for students, that the students would have these profiles, so they would get dumped onto Eduroam and open roaming wherever possible, which is cheaper for the phone company because 4G and 5G spectrum is expensive, but Wi-Fi is very cheap. And the phone company ran a lot of hotspots in cafes and government offices and what have you, and that supported open roaming. So the students then automatically connect to Wi-Fi, which is much cheaper for the phone company, and the phone company gets long-term student. If you're connected to a phone company for a while, you probably like the phone number. You're probably not going to change to another phone company unless they're significantly cheaper, right?
Yeah,
And so
yes.
yeah, this is a way of you.
So yeah,
It's-
yeah, at least you can add this one for open roaming.
Yes.
Yeah, at least that one. Okay, to configure open roaming is either through Eduroam CAD or this Wi-Fi portal, these two. If you before support passpoint, if it doesn't support, you cannot.
That technology has been around for a long time.
Yeah, long
So
time.
unlikely you've still got Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi. Yeah, exactly. So Wi-Fi access points will be dying. You will not have one because of PowerPoint.
I think the oldest one that we have was Aruba, 2013 or 14. Yes, support passpoint actually. Something that we can do is in the office, set up Eduroam, number one, set up open roaming, number two, set up Eduroam IDP, become a showcase. Conference the organization to get on board. I come to our office and let me demonstrate all the technology that we have. And I've VPN add that one. So you can see this is like functional organization and some kind of that.
And go to the fourth biggest phone company. you know, like yeah, because they're going to get customers from students, and over time that will be attractive to them. And but you need to, a provider that's willing to, do that sort of thing, offer open roaming in locations, because they're making money on student monthly subscriptions to the mobile phone data plan.
Even in my house, I have Eduroam, I have open roaming. So when people come to my house, let me demonstrate our capability. Yeah, we do have. I do have in my home. Okay, so one question.
Between young students.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big market.
It's a big market.
Million students means
Yeah.
you're getting, 700,000 new students every year. They're below.
We need to convince users to use Eduroam because they are not ever.
We have to convince them. Okay, so what you can do, turn off all the remaining SSID, only turn on Eduroam. What's your
So like everyone, I think I wasn't here when you were talking about the killer app.
Yeah.
I missed that discussion. And so the most interesting killer app I ever heard for Federation was Austria, the ARCONET, their identity federation. There was a company that sold cheap computer hardware for students, right? This is when, you had limited diversity. But you had to prove that you were a student to do it. Right? And so ARCONET set up an identity federation. And all of the universities, bar one, ended up joining ARCONET's identity federation because the students were forcing the university to give them access to this, right? So if, for instance, Eduroam is only available if the institution deploys it and you make a deal with a phone company and students could get, a discount on their mobile phone tariff, right? And their uni wasn't doing anything about it, but the other uni in their city was. Maybe they will just move unis, right? If you've got 700,000 students new each year, if they, the students get to choose much more these days than they did, right? They can study all around the globe, and they can pick and choose institutions to study virtually. So if the uni is worried, evil Eduroam people will come from another university to us. It's like, well, equally those students could leave, and that would become a cost. And so, I don't know if there's any good recent mobility stuff. I'll see if I can find an old presentation of mine online because Janet did a presentation. But they geolocated where people were, right? And number of logins. And they made these bubble graphs where the bubbles showed the number of Eduroam visitors to a different uni. And one of the pictures, there's this really big blob in the sort of the southeast of the UK, but not in London. So they go, this is wrong, right? Because London is where everyone goes. And so the bubble was supposed to be in London, so we got the location data wrong, right? So they checked it all, and it's like, it's not. What's happening here? There's 3 colleges in the southeast of the UK where huge amounts of student movement, and as a result, you know, you have a Eduroam account with your primary institution, but people are going to the 2 other institutions within a 2-kilometre radius. And why? And it's because these colleges decided that they would not become experts in every area. They would simplify their course offering. And if you wanted to do, you know, advanced maths and physics, you'd have to walk to another institution and do the classes there. And if you want to do adventure rec, you do the courses in another place. And so what happened was all of these students were moving around between this cluster of colleges, generating this huge amount of traffic. And it's like, you know, Janet didn't know this happened, right? Like this was like, I called this permissionless innovation, right? The NRAN provided the infrastructure and the universities made the course offering, and they collaborated, and they didn't have to get permission from the NRAN for this collaboration. It just worked because the students could take their accounts with them. And they could take their identity.
Just in-rooming was working. Just in-rooming works here.
Yeah.
No out-rooming.
Yeah,
Because without
yeah,
in-room, in-room doesn't work with outside overseas. Because any out-rooming needs to be handled by in-room. So for like this, because
Not necessarily.
to the NRAN, had Eduroam, right? But they didn't have to do anything special, right? Like you as an NRAN provided the infrastructure, and the universities used it in an interesting way. They didn't have to ask you for permission because it just works, right? They didn't have to say, is it okay if we did this? It's like, we're the universities, we pay you to be our servant.